Hello and welcome to the Live Life Golden Show. This is episode 48. We're talking all about creativity today, and I have an extremely special guest, one of my favorite people that walks the earth. Shaylin Duffy is here. Woo! She is my new creative director. If you have seen any of my pictures on Facebook, move over a little. We gotta be in the camera. Any of my pictures on Facebook or Instagram, she is responsible for my latest what would you call it? Adventures, my endeavors. Yeah, adventures. Yes. That was adventurous what we did. Yeah. It was very adventurous. She got me way out of my comfort zone, got me in clothes I wouldn't normally wear, put a feather in my cap, which really got a lot of attention.
Golden Doodle.
Yes, Golden Doodle. I love it. So I invited Shaylin here today because she is extremely creative, and she has actually kind of been coaching me recently on just letting go and being a little lighter about life and business and creating things. And so I think she has a lot of value. I also think that she's had a spiritual path that is much deeper than most people her age. Shaylin is 18. And she has a lot to offer. So she's been through a lot, and we'll see how much she's willing to share.
Everything.
Yeah, everything. Let's go. So we're talking about creativity and passion. Let's just go back to your journey so we can give people, you want to just sit up a little. I want to make sure we can hear you on the microphone. Yes. You got to really project here. Yes. This is her first show. So
a little bit nervous.
Nothing. Take a deep breath. Way out of the comfort zone today. So we moved here from Connecticut when you were 11.
Yes.
And can you just share a little bit about what that was like for you? Because we were excited. We were all really excited to go. And then you had to say goodbye to like all your friends and everything you had ever known. And I know that was really hard on you. So do you remember what that was like when you were like 11?
Kind of. I just remember being terrified.
Yes.
Terrified of going to a new school and stuff like that. But I was excited.
Yeah.
I knew that good things were going to come.
I remember you getting out of my car and you did not know a single soul going to school. I was
so
like,
nervous.
She is a warrior. I was just like so proud of you because it was so, and your sister had met people before she went into high school. So she had a friend. Yeah. People, no, yeah. No, I forget what it was. Like it was some club that she was part of. Yeah.
Drama club, yeah.
So she had an advantage there because she had met some people, but you did not. And you were just getting out of the car and making friends. And the weirdest thing that happened was the very first friend you had, what was her name?
Her name was Shaylin.
It's like, how many Shaylins do we know? I think that was the only one we've ever met.
Yeah, no, definitely.
It was wild. Yeah, she was really sweet. So you had a couple of like good friendships, and it was rocky. I would say it was a rocky,
very, very rocky.
And I think probably the hardest part about it was you were integrating into friendships that had their whole lives together.
Yes, yeah, I think it was just a major culture shock.
Yeah.
So it was like I kind of lost myself for a minute.
Yeah. So we lived in Connecticut where there really was no culture whatsoever. And then you moved to California and there's like so many different cultures and so many different people that come from different belief systems.
More artistic.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. But the weather was good, right?
The weather was amazing.
We did good there, yeah. Yes. And our living situation was crazy because we moved into an apartment and that was a little weird. Things we weren't used to, right? So weird. I feel like you had a little more freedom.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was more normal here to kind of run around the streets than it was in Connecticut because there's sidewalks and things like that.
And everybody was doing it. You know?
Yeah. So then fast forward a little bit, you got into high school and things got you hit some rough patches in high school. Am I right?
I think it started in middle school.
You do?
It was like 8th grade. Yeah.
Yeah, what mom doesn't know, right? But you had some bullying situations that were pretty gnarly.
It was kind of subliminally too. Like they would do it behind my back too. But it's like, I'm glad.
Yeah.
I'm glad it happened.
Yeah, I mean, you had some like insecurity things going on and they definitely reflected that. Like you could see how
for sure
you were contributing to those things.
Yeah, it was definitely me.
Yeah.
Because I lost myself. I wasn't myself.
Yeah, you didn't know who you were.
No idea.
Yeah, when Shaylin was growing up, she was like this really lighthearted, fun, silly, and then you just got super serious for a few years, I would
Yeah,
say.
pretty much
Um,
all of high school.
what would you say are like, what was one of the, or a few of like your saving graces in high school? Like that really kind of got you through those tough times?
My boyfriend,
Yeah. Good
probably.
boyfriend.
Yeah.
I can vouch for that.
um, I don't know. I mean,
Your love of
oh well, dancing. Yes, I
dancing.
was on the
Yeah.
dance team. That definitely helped because I had
Yeah.
lots of friends.
Yeah.
You know, it was a great community.
Yeah, that was
Very
a community of
accepting.
very loving people,
Very
no
accepting.
bullying, just ever, and it
Yes.
was so eclectic. Like there were so many different people involved in that
Yeah. Yeah.
that no, there was no judgment. It felt very
No.
much like no judgment, and so many different groups of kids came together. It was a hip hop team. So many
Yes.
different groups came together.
Kayla,
Yeah,
one of my friends too. She was
yeah,
definitely a saving grace for
yeah,
me.
for sure. Which is amazing. All right, so going through the rough times, like going through the dark times, because I'm sure there's a lot of people on here that have had experience with rough times or even have kids maybe that are going through that, like those teenage years. And the last couple of years, you guys, Shaylin went through COVID like junior, senior year. So like her last year of high school was like on the computer,
In my
right?
room.
In your
Yeah,
room.
but it helped
Like
me. It helped me a lot to
well, and
heal.
that's the thing. So like as a mom, we're just like terrified by the whole thing as far as like what our kids are losing and like the detriments, but you were able to pull
I
some
was
of the
glad.
positives.
I didn't want to go
Yeah.
to school,
She
so
didn't want to go to school,
I think
say.
before COVID happened, I started online.
You did, and then you were
Remember
going to go back and then you
that? And
couldn't
I
go
couldn't.
back. So, it's like it's just trusting, right? Like
Yeah.
the destiny of what
Mhm.
your
Meant
journey
to
is.
be. It went. Yeah. Yep.
Absolutely. So what would you say to maybe some teenagers, maybe some young adults that are going through some darkness? Like, can you share a few things that either got you out of it or what you were dealing with in the middle of it that might be helpful?
Yes. Well, I think there was a lot of blaming myself. I think there was a lot of really nasty thoughts about myself
Mm,
because of the people I was around. They wouldn't make me feel the best. So I would give advice to say just stick to yourself. Like,
mm,
you know yourself. You can only be yourself.
yeah.
So don't pay attention to anybody else because everybody else's experience is completely different from yours. So their opinions don't matter. I think young kids really get in their heads and they think that everybody else around them matters so much. But
Well,
once you,
especially with social media.
oh, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
it's crazy.
Once you leave high school, you're like, why did I ever care?
Yeah.
I'm never going to see these people again.
Right. I tried to tell you
Right?
that. I
No.
remember trying to tell you that.
I think I realized senior year, kind of a little bit, but you know, it's hard. It
Yeah.
is hard, but you have to be kind to yourself because
You're the only one that
that's,
matters.
yeah, you're the only one that matters. That's all you're here to do.
So we
Is to
did
love
do some
yourself.
like healing modalities for you, and I was very thankful that you were open to that because we were struggling for a few years there with different things, and so we kind of looked at your nutrition, cleaned up some heavy metals. You had some heavy metals going on. I think a lot of people don't realize,
Your food. It's your food.
yeah, your
I think,
food.
yeah. Another piece of advice I would say is eat healthy
Yeah,
because it's really good for your brain.
yeah, yeah, and like the toxicity of the things that you had taken in.
Or like, well, you know, nicotine,
Mm-hmm.
weed, anything like that. Obviously, you're gonna experiment, but don't abuse it when you're so young
Yeah.
because you'll thank yourself later.
Yeah. I remember situations like that and me telling you, like, I just want you to be at an advantage in life. And that stuff
Right.
always puts you at a
It
disadvantage,
does.
especially at a younger age because your brain is developing and stuff.
Well, yeah, and I think something I didn't realize, and a lot of people don't realize, especially people who are spiritual as well, is when you use drugs, your aura opens and you have holes and
Holes.
things can come in your aura that aren't supposed to be there that literally drag you down. Like I had been told that there was a woman entity holding onto the left side of my body and I felt it, like the physical imbalance. So, yeah, she was in my ear telling me, "You're stupid. You hate yourself," you know?
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't. But it was her and it was honestly probably because of drugs, you know?
Yeah.
Because of weed.
Yeah, so I don't really think that there's like a devil or there's evil or things like that, but
Just
what we do, yeah,
lower
what we do
frequencies,
believe is that there's like lower frequencies and you open up
entities.
your field to different things when
Hmm.
you know, experiment with drugs and things. And I know people that have been addicted to like serious hardcore heroin
You
and
can
things like
tell. You can
that.
see
You
it.
can totally tell and there's, you know, there's just a presence there and they're normally, you know, addicted to music that is on a lower frequency and
Right.
things like that. So being careful about what you put in your body and what
In
you
your
expose
brain, in your
yourself to.
ears.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think something that's also important to add is that don't be scared. Like these entities are not going to hurt you.
Yeah.
They might pinch you a little bit, you know. They might mess around with you, but if you don't pay attention to it, they're not there,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. Yeah. And I mean, you've gotten yourself out of it. You've really cleaned yourself up. And the other thing that we did that was super helpful was hypnotherapy.
Mm.
You worked with a hypnotherapist a couple of times. And I think that realization, because you are a meditator, which is amazing at your age to be a meditator, but the realization that you are not your thoughts, that you are not that evil voice, that self-critical voice,
Mm.
that separation was a huge part of your healing journey.
Yeah, I think at the time I wasn't completely ready for it,
Yeah.
but it did make me realize there's two sides to me. I mean, I'm a Gemini moon as well. So it was like one side was like, "Oh, like treat yourself well, be kind to yourself." And the other side was like, "You're stupid. I
Right.
hate you." You know, like all
Right.
the
Horrible
"you're
things.
annoying, shut up."
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
I totally had no voice at
Yeah.
all.
Which makes the social anxiety. I mean, you've had
Oh,
social
man.
anxiety. And you know, when you walk through something like COVID and you're forced to be in your bedroom all the time,
It makes it so much
it
worse.
just makes it so much worse. And I've seen a lot of your friends even go through it where they're having trouble being social at this point,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm. Lots of
Jesus.
people.
Yeah.
Lots of people.
Yeah. So what would you say as far as like coming out of, and we're going to get to creativity, I promise,
Yes,
but I
yes.
wanted to do a backstory on you
Mhm.
because I think it's important for people to realize like this amazing, incredibly spiritual being has come through like a darkness
Yeah. Well,
and that's what happens.
that's what
Yeah.
happens. When you first awaken, you're going to feel like nothing matters. Like you're depressed. Like what is going on? I mean, none of this matters. Why am I even here? I'd rather be in space.
Yep.
No.
Yeah.
It's part of your journey. Like you have to feel the pain to feel the good and the
Yeah.
light, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yes. I think a big thing that helped me was music.
Mm.
For sure. I think also a big thing that didn't help me was music.
Yes.
Because I
Yeah.
would listen to very sad things.
Yeah.
And even if they weren't sad, I
Well,
would
and that's
make
what
them
you're going to
sad.
be attracted to though when you're in those lower frequencies, right?
True.
Like when we have breakups and stuff, we're attracted
Yeah.
to those
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you know, love songs that make us cry or movies that make us cry.
Exactly.
So I think it's part of the clearing out, like clearing out that emotional field.
Yes. Because it's how you look at it too. Like I would listen to like just funky music, like alternative.
You listen to so many different things. You've exposed us to a lot of different music, which is
Really?
cool. Yeah, and she
Oh.
listens to like Doris Day and like sometimes I feel like my grandpa's here, you
Oh,
know.
stop.
It's great.
I
No, it's
can't,
great.
yeah, I can't listen to her
Yeah.
anymore, but
No.
that was a weird time in my life.
Really? That's interesting.
Yeah,
So yeah.
she brings me back. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it just depends on how you look at it. It's really
Totally.
important. I wouldn't recommend super intense music when you're going through stuff like that because you can't protect yourself
Yeah.
from what that
Yeah.
music brings. And even if you say like, "No, I just don't think about it." Like it's like watching a horror movie.
It's true.
You're feeding your brain
Oh my
that
God.
you cannot you
So many
cannot take
times
it
I tried
away.
to tell
Yeah,
you
you
that.
did. But I listened
What
with
was that
American Horror
movie?
Story.
American Horror Story. But what was that other movie? One of your friends went to go see it, and he was telling me he hid it from his mom, and then he couldn't stop thinking about it. The one with the clown in the
Oh, it.
sewer. Yeah. Did you see
Yeah.
that?
No, I didn't.
She never
I
saw it
didn't because you wouldn't let
because
me.
I wouldn't let her. Because I totally believe that. Like when you open up your frequency to stuff like that,
Oh
and
my
I
God.
get it if you enjoy it and it's something that you know is entertaining to you. But I've kind of been very careful and protective about what's in my home
Well, yeah.
and what's in my field. So we don't put the news on in our house. We don't watch scary movies. We tried watching The Sopranos for a while. We had to stop watching that because it was affecting our sleep. So you have to
Yeah.
realize that
Everything affects you.
it's like a diet. It's like
Mhm.
everything that you're taking in, you're actually feeding yourself.
Yeah, well, and a lot of the times, I mean, the industry makes these shows to distract you and
Yeah.
to get you to like get
Distract
off
you
your
from
path.
yourself, right? Yeah.
Because I think okay, I don't know if you guys know Lights Out.
What's that?
It's a horror movie,
I
and I
don't.
watched it when I was in 8th grade. And I actually think the entity was the person from that movie,
Really?
Diana. Yeah,
Ooh, that's creepy.
yeah, because yeah, it
That's
was
so
crazy.
creepy.
I remember I came home from that movie, and you had bought a chandelier, and the name of it was Diana.
What?
Uh huh.
That's
And oh my god,
crazy.
I couldn't sleep for
That's
weeks.
crazy. Yeah, so protect your field against that stuff for
Yeah,
sure.
I mean, it's once you pay attention to it that you start to feel it, and you start to be
Hmm.
like, "Whoa, this is weird. I don't like this. This
Yeah.
is making me feel off."
Yeah, once you actually realize what it's doing to you, but it's
Mm-hmm.
getting connected to that. Like
Yeah, yeah. Because
what
if you're
like
not,
it's getting connected to like how does this thing make me feel?
right,
Right? That's
right.
a huge
Because a
part
lot
of
of
it.
people just turn it off.
Yeah.
They're just like, "Oh, it's a scary movie. It's gonna make me feel scared." But why would you want to be fearful? You
Right,
know?
right. And then like the worst thing is like when you get up in the middle of the night and then that's what you're thinking about, you
Right. And
know?
then you feel like whatever. When you
Yeah,
feel
that doesn't
something's in
bring
you,
you joy.
brings you fear.
So one thing that you've done recently that has made mom super happy is you've cleaned out your room.
Oh
So
yes.
can we talk about your room? So
Oh
Shay
man.
has a we had to have a talk with Shaylin because she likes to collect things and she has a really hard time letting go of things. And you
Not
figured
anymore.
but you figured out why that was. Do you
Oh
remember?
yeah. Well, I actually feel like I held on to that stuff so I could cleanse it and it would
Mm,
feel amazing because once I got everything out of my room, it's like my whole personality
it's
changed.
true.
Like I just became lighter as a
Yeah.
person. Like the more and more I would take out and throw away, I would just be like, yes,
Yeah, that was
yes.
huge. Now, Shaylin, her room, like every part of the wall and the ceiling was covered. And I brought my friends in there and they were blown away. Like they still talk about it. Like they thought it was so cool because it's very creative. But when you have so much stuff around you and so much energy around you, there's no movement, right? That's feng shui.
It
Like there's
was
no energy movement
yeah, I was really into collages. So there was a collage on this wall, a collage on this wall, and a
everywhere.
collage on the ceiling. So there was just like covered everywhere
Stuff. Yeah.
stuff.
And old stuff, old
Oh
energy.
yeah, like stuff I wasn't even into anymore
Yeah.
was on my walls.
Yeah, so we had a talk with you about hoarding and how that's not a good thing.
Nope.
And luckily she kind of came to it on her own because our parenting style with you has very much been working to be in balance and not
Well,
to
yeah,
be
because
pushy,
I'm
and
very independent.
you are very independent and so is your sister, the two girls that we have home. So it's like not pushing and helping you guys to find your way without being these like you have to go to college. Like I was thinking about this today, like my parents forced me to go to college.
Right. A lot of
I
parents
was
do,
A
but
lot
it
of
doesn't.
parents do.
It's like, why are you not asking your kids
Well,
what they want to
and
do?
it's a social programming thing and
It
it's also
is.
like it kind of makes sense because if people were to say, okay, I'm not going to send my kid to college, I'm just going to have them stay home and like figure it out. Like that's a
It's
scary thing for
scary
people.
for parents, for sure, because they don't, a lot of parents don't trust in their kid, especially if they've seen their kid through high school failing and cheating and not trying as hard as they could because a lot of kids don't want to learn the things that high schools
Right.
are teaching. They want to learn what they are good at. They want to learn music or dancing or singing or making
Yeah.
stuff. That's what they'll pay attention to.
Right.
So you can't base it off of high school, like your
Yeah.
opinion about your kid, because they could be really good at something else and really bad at high school, like I
Yeah.
was. I
Well,
was
and
really
it's
bad.
just like just trying to figure that out. Even myself, like I went to college for 2 years. It was like a waste of $16,000. It was
Hmm.
cheap. It was cheap college.
Hmm.
But I graduated pregnant and all I ever really wanted was to be a mom and a wife. So that was just fulfilling something for my parents and a social programming where if they had just kind of let me do my thing, we all would have saved that money.
Hmm.
But everything happens for a reason.
Exactly.
But being that way with you guys and just letting you kind of find your way, it's not easy. I'm
No,
not
it's
gonna
not.
lie, it's not easy because our programming is to be like you got to go to work, you got to make money, you got to get
Hustle, hustle,
self-sufficient.
hustle, hustle.
That's the way we've all grown up. But now that we're working in universal law and working with energy flow, it's very different style of parenting to be like, okay, like your job right now is to meditate and to
Right.
make your room
To
really
awaken your
beautiful and
soul.
functioning. Exactly. I
Yes.
mean, that's not easy to do. And now that we're doing this, like your creativity has really
Oh my
taken,
god. Yeah, because
would you say?
I mean, I always knew I had this drive in me to be creative. Like I've always felt like
You've always
whatever
been, yeah.
creative task I could I mean, I feel like I could figure it out, but I wasn't doing anything creative because
No.
I was like on my phone, or
Yes.
I was focusing on homework, I was focusing on my friends, and just
Well, I mean,
outside
just being a
things.
kid, which is fine,
Yeah,
which
it's
is
totally fine.
fine.
It's totally
Sometimes I
fine.
wish you would just be a kid more. But like, what can you say to people about the whole phone thing? Because that's like a big thing for parents
Oh my
and
god. Well, I
and
think
and for people in general. I think even for myself.
there's this new generation of like iPad kids too,
Yeah,
which I think
it's frightening.
it's frightening. It
It's
is
frightening.
because I
Like you go
think
to restaurants and they're
they're
like,
just
yeah,
it's okay. I mean, I understand because parenting is very hard. It's very difficult, and if your kid is constantly like nagging you, you want to stop it, right?
right.
But I think it's poison. It
Yeah.
literally sedates your brain,
Yep.
so nothing goes on, and you're
Yep.
just paying attention. You're
Yeah.
just mesmerized. That's why
Yeah.
people like scroll and scroll and scroll because you're like, oh, what's next? What's next?
Yeah.
What's next?
Because it's that dopamine
Mm-hmm.
release that you get from it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not lending to any sort of life force.
Well, I actually think that some of social media is good
Yep.
because a lot of my creativity has come from inspiration
Yep.
from people on
Same.
social media.
Same with me. Yeah.
But it's like you have to be strict with yourself, and you
Yep.
have to realize that you have to put a time limit
I
on
agree.
yourself. Like if you're sitting on your phone all day, it makes you feel gross,
Yeah.
like
It's
it
gross.
feels gross, and then you just do it again and then
Yep.
do it again
Yep.
because you want to know what's going on with everybody else, and you want to know what's in the world, and you got to know what's
Yeah. It's almost like
what's
you feel it. There's like a false sense of being a part of something, I
like you
think.
have to know what's up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which you don't.
No, you really don't. It goes on without you.
You gotta just talk to the trees.
You got to talk to
That's
the
all you gotta
trees.
do.
So yeah, so you've been going out in nature a lot, which I
Yes.
love, which I've been I think one of the big things that we did when you were like in your real deep dark times is we went and laid on a blanket under a tree.
Yes.
And that was so
That was nice. We used to go for walks.
yeah,
Yeah.
you just need to there's something about nature that realigns you.
It brings you back.
Yeah, and I think people, especially if you live in a winter climate, it's really hard to do that, but it's so important.
It is, but if you look at it differently, like
Yeah,
that inner child, because
yeah.
when you're a kid, snow is fun.
So
It's
fun.
fun.
So
So
true.
like just get your little
This
sled.
is true.
Just get your little sled and
Yeah.
go outside and have fun.
Yeah.
Stop worrying about shoveling. I mean, make shoveling a game. Just like put some music on and just have fun. Like
Yeah.
it's hard, but you can look at it.
You can. I was actually just talking to your sister because she lives in Connecticut, and she was saying how this winter has not been terrible for her, even though it's been the coldest winter. And she said it's all about your attitude and the way she's like, if I'm going to live here, why would I choose to be miserable over a
right?
season that's so long?
And it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Literally, snow is so
yeah.
beautiful.
The winterscapes are gorgeous.
It's a completely different perspective on the world.
I don't miss that, but I do get it because the winter that before we left, do you want to shut that so it stops doing that?
Yeah.
The winter before we left, I did a lot of snow shoveling and dancing, and I actually didn't have any physical issues once
Really?
I was lighter with it, and I was thinking
I'm getting out of
differently.
here.
Yeah, woohoo, right? Which I wasn't even really sure of yet, but
Right.
I knew that if I could just get in that higher vibration, that it would lend to us leaving.
Exactly.
So let's talk about creativity because that was the big teaser that we gave.
Yes.
So creativity and I have some people on here who are definitely struggling to find out like what their passions are and what their creativity
and that's
is.
okay.
Yeah,
That's
so
really okay.
sharing like that ebb and flow, like sometimes we go through times in our life where we're not feeling super creative and we're kind of bored and a little complacent.
You know why?
Why?
Because you're building up.
Yeah.
Like if I do this sometimes where my room will be a mess for like 2 weeks.
It's true.
Because I have no motivation. And then like it's like you're building it up. Like and then I just explode. And I just clean my room and I make music and I write poems and it's like don't be hard on yourself if you're having a block.
Yeah.
It's
the ebb and flow,
reason,
right? It's that, and it's so that appreciation can come, and that when that energy flows, it feels so good. Yeah.
But don't force it.
Yeah. No, you really can't. You can't. And when you do try to force it, it's like what comes.
You bash on yourself.
Yeah, and what comes is not like it doesn't really come like to fruition because you're forcing something, right?
It's like it's not what you really want to see.
Right. That was the talk that we had recently. So from my last photo shoot, we talked about kind of sat down with Shay and just kind of asked her some advice about what I should do. And she was like, let's just do a photo shoot together and let's get out there and just like be kids and
Beach
have
kids,
fun and
yeah.
dress up. And it was really fun.
It
That was
was
the
fun.
funnest photo shoot I've ever done. And the
Oh,
pictures were stellar. Thank you very much.
you're
But you
welcome.
brought it. Like you brought all of your stuff and you had ideas and
Because I'm building it up. Like, I
yeah.
haven't really been doing creative stuff all through high school, but I knew I was creative.
Yeah.
So I was like so disconnected from myself.
Yeah.
But I think also loving yourself has a big thing to do with creativity, because when you see what you produce,
Mm.
it's like, wow, I'm pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I'm pretty awesome, yeah.
Yeah, so let's talk about that like judgment and
Oh
creativity.
yeah, that's
So
a big thing with people.
yeah.
Big thing.
Yeah.
It has to be no judgment. You just have to trust yourself.
Yeah.
Because if you're judging yourself,
It ruins the whole thing.
it does. It's
Right?
like it's not what it's about.
No. No, it's
Yeah.
just sharing. It's sharing from your authenticity and
Mm-hmm.
who you
Not
really are.
everybody. Yeah, not everybody.
Would you say your creativity is like connected to that flow of energy of loving yourself? Like would you say that
A
there's
100%.
yeah.
A hundred
Yeah.
percent. Because I think, well, I think pain also makes beautiful art.
That's true. Like most artists were in pain, weren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Like the
Because
guy who cut
that's
off his ear.
right. Oh my god.
Right?
Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
mean, pain brings creativity. So that's also something you have to remember. If you're in deep pain right now, just be like excited because it's coming. It's all coming.
Yeah. I
You
mean, think
know?
about some of the songwriters and stuff that have.
Oh
Oh, and Lulu's here.
yes, another
Say
special
hi,
guest.
Lulu.
Say
Lulu
hi.
is Shaylin's best friend.
Yes,
Best friend.
she's my protector.
Yeah, that's for sure. So, as far as like creativity, so one of the things that I always share with people is like, think about what you were doing when you were little. Like, think about what as a child really got you excited. Like, if I
Right.
was to think about that, I would say, I loved pretending I was a teacher. Like, I would just be in my room and I would put on lipstick and I'd be
Yes.
at the chalkboard and I'd be yelling at kids, you know? And now, like, that's something that I get really excited about. And really weirdly, when I was writing out our notes for this, I was thinking about, well, I was really interested in law when I was in high school. Like law, like I could study laws and it
The
was, and
law of
that's
attraction.
right. So then after I made that connection, I was like, oh, the laws of the universe is where I brought that. So it might not be exactly what you were excited about in high school or exactly what you were excited like as a child, but there's something there. There's a thread there that's worth going back to.
Yes.
And you were like a dancer when you were little. Like you used to choreograph stuff when you were little.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's something that I'd like to see you get back to.
Yes, I need to get back to dancing for sure.
Yeah.
But I dance by myself, you know.
Yeah, but I think you need to bring it to the people.
Bring it to the
people. Let's go. But yeah, your dad and I are taking a hip hop class, so there's opportunity. So yeah, that's one thing, like try new things, you know? So we just did a hip hop class. Like that was way out of my comfort zone, not something I was excited about doing, but really good for your brain.
Yeah.
A
big thing is exploring.
Yeah.
Exploring yourself and not judging, because you can completely change your path. Like she was saying about law.
Yeah.
I gave her an idea, but that's not what she wanted to do.
No, I didn't want to be a lawyer. I actually worked for a few lawyers and I was like, no, I don't want to do this.
That's not, no. So don't judge yourself for changing paths either. Like you could be really deep into something and be like, this is not it for me.
Yeah.
And then completely change. But it's all about finding what it is. Because I think for a while, the reason why I was so conflicted is because I was like, I want this, I like doing this. I don't know what I'm going to do with my life.
What people believe is like ADHD.
Right.
But it's really just having like a lot of interests.
Yeah.
Being interested in a lot of things.
And I think high school kind of breeds ADHD as well, because kids don't want to learn. They want to learn what they want to learn. So you can't put that on people when it's just like,
yeah, especially at that age,
bullshit
right?
information that you're not going to remember after you leave, you know?
Right.
Yeah, especially at that age.
Yeah, that's a struggle.
It is, for sure.
So how do you suggest that people like find out what they're really jazzed about?
Well, there's a lot of things I think that goes into it. I think one is loving yourself. 2, owning your power. 100%. is owning your power and not being like, oh yeah, me loving myself is selfish.
Yeah.
No, that's what I thought for a while.
Yeah.
I thought saying that I think I'm pretty or that I think I'm awesome was totally gross. Like, I literally thought people who were confident made me barf.
Yeah.
You know?
Because you took it as egotistical,
Mhm.
where egotistical and confident are different
It's
things.
different.
Yeah.
It's not. It's the difference between narcissism and power.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And she's stretching. Yeah. So I think a lot of things go into it. I would say never judging yourself. That's a big thing. Big thing. Like if also trusting the process, because I mean the other day I was painting something and I was just like, okay, come through me.
Yeah.
Do that. I just didn't know. Like I just started drawing something and I was like, this looks weird, and I just kept going.
Yeah.
And at the end I was really satisfied.
Yeah.
So it's just like you have to judge yourself at the end, not in the
Just, yeah,
process,
just
right?
kind of like let it go
Let
and
it go,
let it
flow,
flow.
let
There
it
you
go,
go.
let it flow. Yeah.
I mean, that's what I do for like all of my teachings, and when I write posts and stuff, it's like it just kind of comes through.
Right.
Where like if I was judging it, like, does that sound right? Like I had to ask Dad about a word the other day that came through.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, does this make sense? And he's like, yeah, it totally makes sense. And I'm like, well, I got to use the word because it came through.
Right.
You know,
Right.
like,
Right.
even if it's a word I don't normally use, you know, I got to use it because it's coming through. And then it resonates with somebody else.
Right.
So that's really cool.
Well, on that note, I
Yeah.
think another big thing is trusting yourself and not always having to ask for everybody's opinion.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah.
So
that's a good one. Yeah. All right. Sure.
So I think my big problem was I couldn't make a decision for my life.
So true.
I
This
couldn't.
is so true.
I had to ask everybody what they thought before I made the decision. So it's like, you just gotta really like just quiet your mind for 1 second.
Yeah.
And just be like, hey, what's the right decision here?
Yeah.
I'm willing to hear what it is. I'm not confused. I just want to know, right? And I think another big thing about connecting with your creativity, if this interests you, is past life regression.
Mm-hmm.
Because I recently did it and I found out I was a craftswoman, so it like kind of totally made me feel more powerful,
right,
and
sparked
more.
that.
Yeah, it sparked it. I was like, wow, look at me! Like I've been around for ages doing the same thing. So like, let it flow, you know? Like
it can be empowering.
let's see it. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's totally.
Yeah,
totally
I've done
empowering.
a little bit of past life. I don't lend a lot to past life stuff because I think we're supposed to be in this life. But a little bit, like dabbling in that a little bit, I think can be very cool, especially if you're struggling with anything or, you know, you feel like you need some energy cleared. I think it can be super helpful.
Well, yes. I also want to mention, like, although you are in this life, I think it is important, if you're called to it,
Yeah.
just because like you get to learn about yourself more.
Yeah.
You get to learn about your soul, not just this incarnation of your soul, like every incarnation of your soul, and it can really be a powerful thing.
Absolutely.
Like really powerful. I think moving. Okay, so this is from Erica Badu, if you know who she is.
Okay.
But she talks about I think it's the 5 doctors.
Okay.
So there's Dr. Sleep.
This is great.
Dr. Sun.
Okay.
Dr. Exercise, Dr. Nutrition, and Dr. Spirit.
Love this.
Yes, so get enough sleep, right? Get enough sun, because the sun brings you wisdom. You're a light.
Love
and so
that.
is the sun, right? So then exercise, moving. I mean, if you just dance a little bit, like just go for a walk, you don't need to go to the gym and kill yourself
no,
every day.
you do need to go to the gym. Actually, I'm gonna argue with you on that. Now you're a youngster.
Well, if you feel called to the gym.
We are actually really into reading about staying younger. And one of the things that we're reading a book right now called Younger Next Year, and they promote working out like hard 6 days a week. And the reason why is because our cells tend to stagnate. And if we keep ourselves in that exercise, we will constantly be detoxifying the body and putting ourselves in a state of restoration instead of, what do you call it? Not dying, but instead of like decay, instead of decay.
Yes.
And the cool thing, like Dad and I have been talking a lot about this, about like, if you're not living, you're dying. So it's like taking that part of yourself, you know, everything that we're talking about, the creativity, the meditation, the sun, the exercise, all of that, is about your vitality for life.
Right.
And, I've seen you spend months and months and months in your bedroom, feeling hyper concerned for you and really worried about you and in trying to find solutions for you and getting really into your problems,
Which it never
which is
works.
not healthy.
No.
And it's hard. Like as a mom, as a parent, like we carried you in our bodies. It's
Yeah.
hard to separate.
It's also hard for the kids because then they're like, okay, mom, leave me alone. You're so annoying. Like, I'm fine. Like, I'm just doing me right now, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like detaching from that.
Mm-hmm.
But like, what would you say to parents that are struggling with a child who's like in their bedroom all the time? Like, do you think it was smart that I like dragged you out of your room and brought you into nature and kind of forced you?
I mean, I think the nature part was good.
Yeah.
Like,
It was helpful,
for
right?
sure. Like, yeah.
Because you wouldn't have done that on your own, I
I
don't
mean, I
think.
didn't have a
I mean,
car, you know?
right, right.
So, yeah, I think just leaving your kid alone, like
Just not being
trusting,
overly concerned.
you have to have faith.
Yeah,
That's what the thing is. Like,
yeah,
parents are, I mean, it's understandable that when something horrible is happening, you're like, wow, this is horrible, right?
yeah,
This is crazy. How is this happening? When is this going to end?
yeah.
Like, you're freaking out about
So true.
the present moment. But
Yep,
I think when it comes to your kids, you just have to trust in the future
right.
because
And send them
teenagers have,
angels.
yes, yes,
Did
send
a
them
lot of
love and
that.
light
Yep.
instead of sending them worry and sending them
Yes.
concern. You got to send them love because another thing is that what was I going to say?
We were talking about kids, being worried about your kids, them being in their rooms, trusting.
Oh yeah, okay. Teenagers have hormones. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so we have hormones that are very strong, so we get really confused. That's why a lot of kids are like confused about their sexuality, they're confused about what they want to do with their life, they're
True.
confused about everything. And that's the thing, like if you're constantly pushing your kids saying, "What are you going to do? Like why are you sitting around? Like get off your ass, do
Yeah.
shit." You know, like that stresses your child out because you're like, "I'm so confused. I don't know what to do. My mom's like
It makes it worse.
yeah, like it makes it totally worse." So
Yeah.
it's like, you know, you just gotta trust. You gotta
Yeah.
have faith in your kid because see them when they're 30 and they're completely over all of this
They will
because
be.
the hormones are balanced, you know? Like,
Yeah.
so I think, yeah, a big thing is that. And then with the doctor's thing, I think encouraging your kid to bring in healthy habits, like start buying healthy food and saying, hey, you know what, like let's go to the store and let's get you some healthy food that'll make you feel good because it's very important for your brain,
Yeah,
you
we
know?
used to do like we would go and get all these healthy cookbooks and
Yeah.
kind of change the way we were eating and make sure we got more vegetables
And I
and
think a big thing with kids is food. A lot of
yeah.
kids are struggling with eating,
Yep.
but the thing is, if you eat healthy, you don't have to worry about
Yeah.
your weight because
Yeah.
you stay fit if you eat right. And also with the exercise thing, I'm gonna tell you, you don't have to go to the gym. It can be dancing.
Unless you're over 40.
Okay. Well, no, it can be whatever you want. It can
Yeah.
be running in the
Mhm.
morning. It can be exercising at home. It can be dancing. It could be whatever you want it
Just
to be.
move your
Move your
body.
body.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Move the energy in your body for sure.
Yeah. There was a point where I was sitting down so much, my butt was getting flat. Not even kidding. It was getting flat.
Yeah, you sit on your ass, it's going to get
Yep.
flat.
Yep. And then so
Nobody wants that.
no, right? And then you'll have to work harder to get
That's
your
right.
ass back.
That's right.
So the last one is Dr. Spirit, which is just to be with yourself. I mean, you don't
Mm.
have to like I know it's hard to meditate in the beginning
Yeah,
because
I want to talk about that cuz you definitely
I struggled.
well, but you are young to be a meditator and it
Mhm.
has changed your life.
Mhm.
What would you say like what would you recommend for somebody your age or younger that's just kind of starting out or even somebody my age that's just
Right.
starting out?
I would say don't do guided meditations because those can be stressful. If they're saying
Mm,
something and you can't feel it, you're like, why can't I feel it? Like a chakra meditation and they ask you to move the energy or whatever. If you can't feel that energy flowing yet, it's because you haven't completely you're not balanced yet, right? And
right.
that's all of those things have to do with your pineal gland, which
Mm,
also is big in creativity. So,
mm.
you know,
So for those of you guys who don't know, the pineal gland is like in your forehead. It's also referred to as your
it's
third
like right,
eye.
it's in here.
Yeah.
It's in the middle of your head. I mean, you can do research on it. It's like it's an actual thing in your brain, you know?
There's some really cool meditations by Joe Dispenza that I absolutely love. And
Ooh.
he does a lot of where you hold your breath for a long time. I'm sure there's a lot of yoga philosophy around this too,
Mhm.
but you hold your breath for a long time and you put pressure on this part of your head. And I've had the most unbelievable meditations with this because it basically clears out all the calcification around your third eye.
Mhm.
And so there's a lot of different studies on the pineal gland and what it does as far as, your spirituality and opening up that awareness. And
Mhm.
if you've never felt it before,
That's okay.
or if you're afraid, because I think a lot of people are afraid to be by themselves, like
Oh
in
yeah,
their own
man. Mhm.
headspace. And they think, oh, I have way too many thoughts. I can't meditate.
Well, that's the beginning.
Yeah.
That's the
That's
that's
the
the
practice,
that's how
right?
you know you need to meditate if you have too many thoughts and you can't shut your head off.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think what I would recommend is music. So look up like
Mm,
cleansing frequency music
I like
or
that.
just frequencies. Look into frequencies
Biennial
like
beats are cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
like 435 or something like that. A bunch of things.
432 is the,
432,
yeah,
yes.
frequency.
So just listening to music and feeling it throughout your body and just practicing that. And if you focus right here, you'll start to feel pressure. I
She's
promise
on
you.
her forehead. Some people don't watch, they just listen. You gotta tell them what
Right. Oh
you're
yeah,
doing.
yeah. Sorry. Right. On
Watch
your
the
right
YouTube if you
forehead.
want to see this.
So you'll start to feel it. Like I think when I started to really pay attention, I would sit in the sun and I would just feel this major pressure right here.
Mm,
And it was beautiful. I was like, wow, this
yeah.
is real. This is a
Yeah.
real thing, you know? You just got to experience it. And also, yeah, so just listening to very high vibrational music, music that makes you happy, you know, makes you dance, makes you groove,
Yeah.
whatever it
Yeah.
is. It could be whatever you want it to
I
be,
like
just as
that.
long as it makes you feel good, you
I
know?
love it. I love it. All right. So we talked about, what makes you passionate.
Oh, I want to add
Yeah.
another thing. Don't judge yourself
Mm,
with the thing. Like if you there's a second where you can choose whether you want to or whether you don't want to commit to meditating,
mm,
which also Joe Dispenza's talked about before.
yeah.
That when you're meditating, thoughts are going to come up to try to distract you because that's what your mind wants you to do, right?
Yep.
So if you don't let it and you say, okay, I'm noticing this thought, but I'm just going to let it brush away, and I'm going to what I kind of do is I try to just focus on the black of my eyelids and I
Same.
don't think of anything but
Same. Yeah.
black
Yeah.
eyelids, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, don't judge yourself. If you have a thought and if you're really scrambled that day and you can't
Yeah.
meditate, just get through the whole meditation even if you can't
Yeah.
focus and just do it.
Because
Don't
that's part of taming your mind.
yeah,
When you don't like get up and
and give
quit.
up. Yeah,
Right.
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 That's the second thing. Like you can either go for it or you can quit, which is what most people do because when things get hard,
Yeah.
people run away.
Yeah. Yeah. Which doesn't build the practice whatsoever
Mm-mm.
or get you
But
stronger.
yeah, the more you sit through that meditation, even if you're thinking and thinking, the more you sit through it, the next day and the next day and the next day, it gets easier and easier and easier.
Yeah.
And I think it was really hard for me before because I had that little woman and I literally used to hear like television shows in my head because it was like I was tuning into like really weird
Weird
stuff, like
frequencies. Yeah.
like
Yeah.
things like that, like really weird noises in my head. So yeah, I mean, once I got over it, it was really
Yeah.
powerful. It was really
Yeah.
beautiful.
Well, you cleared out your field
I
too,
did. I did, yeah.
Yeah. And you can see that by what you do with your life now. And
What I
so,
used to do.
well, yeah, one of the things I've been thinking about lately, and this was really a really strong thought that I had today, and we had a little conversation yesterday about just like anxiety and, getting up in the morning and not feeling good and having doubts about yourself and stuff like that. So today I was thinking about like anytime we get into those like anxious thoughts, it's like we're thinking about what we don't want and we're worried that we're not going to create the future that we want to create. And the truth is, when we have these desires, manifestation it's like it's already happened. We just have to get into the feeling place to tune into it. So I've just been realizing all day, like I've got this like deep satisfaction going on today and just this love of life today where everything is just, I mean, even just like I was making lunch for tomorrow and dinner for tonight. And I was just like, just in those like minutia things that we do. And I was just feeling so good about it. and feeling so pleased about, yeah, I have a lot of things going on and I'm feeling a little overwhelmed by what I need to get done, but I'm like, I don't need to do that because
It's
it's
one
all a
step at a
flow,
time.
right?
One
Like it's
step
all
at a
flow, and
time.
it's like it's all going to happen and it's all going to get done. And when we stress about it, we're actually putting past energy into our present day because we're worried about all the things that happened before or could happen that are not going to allow our future to be what we envision it to be. So just relaxing and going, it's all coming, it's all flowing,
Yes.
is such a great part of the creation process.
Yeah, it's like what I was saying with the kids. Like
Yeah.
you gotta trust yourself first,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And you gotta hype yourself up.
Yeah.
Because I feel like for a while, a big thing for me was like I would be like, why does nobody love me like I want to be loved?
Yeah.
I always give and I give and I give and I give, but I don't receive the love that I'm giving. And it was totally about me. And it was like, no, you got to give that love and that hype to yourself before you can receive it from other people.
This has been so much of my post lately. It's like giving from the lack. You're giving
Right.
to try to get love.
Right.
And so you're giving from lack, so you just keep experiencing more lack.
Right. And you just want to give and you just want to love.
Yeah.
And you just hope for it to come back to you.
Yeah.
And this one was actually just like staring at me.
All right. So she's picking cards. We got some law of attraction cards here, and it's fun. It's fun to pick these cards and see what they say.
Yes, but it was literally on the top.
All
and
right.
This was what she was just talking about. Every
Okay.
emotion I feel is guidance from my adoring inner being, right?
Nice.
So yes. Because my inner being offers a strong, steady vibrational signal, I can always feel my allowance or resistance to that signal. The better I feel, the more aligned I am. The worse I feel, the more out of alignment I am. As I reach for good feeling emotions, I am in alignment with my signal of my source. So, yeah, like what I was saying about that second.
Yeah.
If you want to feel good, you have like 1 second.
Yeah.
I think it's probably like 3 seconds, I think.
I think they say it's like 16 to manifestation. So like you have 16 seconds before that thought is going to manifest another thought.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So
Yeah.
like if
I don't know how they figured that out.
But so like if you have a bad feeling thought, somebody's making your day bad, you
or
can
you're
be like,
allowing someone to make
you're
your day bad.
allowing somebody to make your day bad.
Yep.
Exactly. So you just gotta stop for 1 second and just say, what is this about? Why am I letting them get me so down? Is it because they're not treating me how I want to be treated? Are they not, giving me what I think I deserve?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So then if you realize that, then you could just be like, fuck them.
Yeah.
Sorry, am I not supposed to swear?
I mean, I don't usually use the F word,
Sorry.
but this is my child, and all my children have a interesting
a little trucker
language.
mouth,
Yeah,
a little
it's
bit.
fine. It's fine.
But yeah, so
Yeah.
it's just like you can either let that thought completely bring you down, which
Right.
is really easy
Yeah.
because pain is addicting.
Right. That emotion
Addicting.
is that emotional field.
It's
You've got those
totally-
addictions, and then you've got the release of hormones.
Right, it's the pathways. Like it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
you feel sad because you're so used to feeling sad, you
Yeah.
don't know what else to feel.
Yep.
And you don't know how to feel happy.
Yeah.
But the happiness comes when you decide to feel
Yeah.
happy.
I love
Right?
that. Yeah. Smart
To allow
kid.
well-being,
Smart kid.
I must be in joy.
Yes.
So you gotta feel joyful.
Yes.
It says you cannot set your radio tuner to 98.6, but you must set your own vibrational tuner. So feelings of love, joy, passion, exhilaration, fun, interest are indications of your vibrational match. So basically,
I love it.
Yeah, you can't let anybody else tune your vibration.
Yeah.
Because when you let people upset you, that's exactly what you're doing.
You're giving all your power away.
Mm-hmm.
You're giving all your control away.
Exactly.
And then you've got no ability to decide how you want your life to be.
Exactly. So,
yeah.
I mean, if you feel really bad and you feel like this person's really getting to you, just let it come up, you know?
Yeah.
And just let yourself feel it, and then do something you love. Do something that makes you feel joyful, like put a song on, dance, sing, write a song, write poetry, go outside, go for a walk. Whatever makes you feel good.
Yeah, but it was funny. I heard this saying today and I thought it was really great, and I'm totally going to integrate it. It's like you can't go from shitty to being giddy. So it's those incremental things that you do, like listening to a song that you like or going outside. And it's just doing those little things that kind of start to up your frequency, but not expecting to go from feeling depressed to being grateful, because it's
Right.
too far of a jump,
You can feel depressed.
Yeah.
That's totally
It's
an
okay.
emotion.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you just don't want to stay there for too long.
No,
If you can
because you
figure
wanna
out
feel
ways
good.
to feel to feel
You want
better.
to feel good,
Yeah.
right? Also, when you're feeling good, you allow in the good.
Yes.
That's what this one's saying.
Yeah. I mean, it's like that said, it's like it's a frequency. It's a radio station that you're dialing into,
Right.
that you're tuning into, that's going to allow for more things like it
Right.
to be part of your experience. But if you're always tuning into complaining, if you're always tuning into what's not right in your life, if you're tuning into anxiety and stress,
You're tuning into what other people are making you feel.
yes, then you're just allowing that energy to be your set point.
Right.
Right.
And you're giving your power away to those people and those things and those outside
Absolutely.
objects, right?
Yep.
So
absolutely.
also, I think a big thing is like how you make yourself feel better. I think that
Yeah, like
if you,
knowing
like,
what that is.
right. I feel like a lot of people go to shopping or like
Yeah,
whatever,
the
which is
addictions.
but
Yeah.
you get to a point in your journey where that doesn't fulfill you
Yeah.
anymore, and it's a great day.
Yeah.
It's a great day because
Yeah.
I have bought way too many clothes because
Yes,
of that.
she
I
has.
don't have any more room, so
And
I
so
had
have
to
I.
But this is a good quote. This is something that people could say,
Yeah.
every day. I actually used to wake up and say this every morning.
Yeah.
Today, no matter where I'm going, no matter what I'm doing, no matter who I'm doing it with, it's my dominant intention to see that of which I'm wanting to see.
I love
So
it.
like if you want
Yeah.
to see the bad,
Yeah.
you're going to see it. But if you're constantly wanting to see positive things, and like if bad things are happening and you're like, no, I refuse to see that this is bad, I'm waiting for
Yeah.
the reason for
Yeah.
this, it's going to come really fast, and you're not going to
That's
let that
huge.
situation control you.
Yeah. That's a huge thing that I think a lot of people don't realize. And that's, that's a level of awakening. That's, I forget what level it is. There's like these 5 different levels of awakening. And that's a level of awakening when you get to the point where things happen that are not optimal, but you're able to look at it and go, okay, cool. Let's see what manifests from this. And you don't get super upset and you don't get really angry, but you're able to really manage your emotional field where you're like, okay, something good is coming from this. So you've got the trust and the faith that allow it to shift much more quickly than in the past. And I work with a lot of people that will say, God, I'm getting so much better at this. Like I was only out of my alignment for an hour instead of a couple of days. That is huge progress. And that's going to move the energy so much different. And you're going to look at that and you're going to go, wow, I'm actually in control. I have other people that say, okay, it took me an hour to get back in alignment. It's like, give yourself some credit. All is well. And it's got the horsies. I love that. All is well. See? All is well.
Exactly. And also, along with what you were saying, oh man, I just lost my train of thought. What
All
were you
is
saying?
well. About just looking at things, contrasts, challenges, problems, whatever you want to call them, and being able to look at them and go, I don't even know what good is coming, but I know good is coming. It's having that energy of everything is always working out for me.
What is this teaching me?
Right. What is this for? Why am I being brought to this? Why am I, where do I need to expand and grow? Where's the leading edge? Like, where do I need to up level, you
Because also when you interact with somebody who's negative, like if you're out and about and somebody totally is like messes with your juju.
Yeah.
That's a test.
Totally.
Everything that happens to you is a test on how you're going to react. So like, for example, the other night something happened to me and I was like, immediately I was like, this is a test. I'm not going to reach for the thought that feels better. Okay. Because it's not my work to control others.
Nice.
So basically, like when you get upset at somebody for acting the way that they do, it's because you're trying to control them.
Well, and you have something within you that needs working on when you've got that trigger.
Well, yeah, because you're trying to control them.
Yeah.
You're trying to say, no, you shouldn't act like that. That's not right.
Well, and you're taking it personally.
Right, because you got to remember, if you had the same experiences that person had, you would probably be acting the same exact way.
That's true. Yeah, we never know, right? We never know what people are going through or what they're dealing with or, what their life path is. And when we take their stuff on, that's when we make it about us.
Mm-hmm.
And if we don't, then it's
Look at
all
this.
about them.
Whatever I give attention to, wanted or unwanted, I am creating. Look at that.
I love it.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Life is always working out for me.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the cards we pulled.
Yep.
Okay, this one's good. I'm selfish enough to want to feel good.
Nice. Isn't that, I think that really sucks that people think that doing what's right for them is selfish. Like, I think it's been a huge disservice that we have been taught that, you know, loving ourselves, right, putting ourselves first,
doing what
is
you want to do.
And I think there's a fine line between that narcissism and not really caring about other people. I think when you take it back to yourself and you work on your own personal soul journey and you really get to know yourself, then you love people more. You love people from wholeness, and you do things from the energy of love. So you actually end up, I feel like, doing more for people.
Oh, yeah.
But not to your detriment or to theirs, you know?
Well, yeah. I mean, if you're not spreading love and if you're not spreading joy because you don't feel that, you're not doing anything for anybody, not doing anything for yourself or anybody else.
Right.
Because what was the one that just came up? Oh, this one is nothing is more important than that I feel good.
Yeah.
Don't do anything that you don't want to do. Keep yourself in a place of feeling good and reach for the thought that feels better. Watch
and that's hard for people that have to go to work every day to a life-sucking job. It is. Yeah, it's challenging. But I've seen your dad, who, you know, he owns his own business, and I've seen him make a lot of shifts in the way he does business and the way he hires people and the way he has really shifted a lot of how he feels about work. And he may not, you know, necessarily want to go to work every day, but he's doing it in such a different energy field that he's a different person.
He really is.
He really is. The last couple of months have been very
and he's attracting different people.
Yes. Yeah. Very expansive in his growth. So awesome. Well, do you have anything else to share? We're almost at an hour here, which this has been a super fun conversation. I know. It's good stuff, right? It's
this one just came out again. Nothing is more important than I feel good.
See? Well, there you go. So nothing is more important than I feel good.
Yes, because you're so damn wonderful. You're so wonderful. Come on.
Like, that's our message for today. You're so damn wonderful.
Come on. You
so
gotta
stop beating yourself up.
There's no hurry.
Yeah.
It's all for joy.
No hurry. It's all for joy.
You're a physical extension of creative, non-physical energy.
Wow. That's powerful stuff.
The law of attraction is the most powerful universal law. It's your friend.
It is your friend, that law of attraction.
Yeah, and this is a big one. Nobody else needs to know this. That's the big thing that happens when you first wake up, is you want to tell everybody because you're really excited.
You do. Like, a lot Not of people, everybody's ready for it.
Especially the people who are already around you, because if you wake up, there probably is people around you who are still asleep.
Yeah.
So if you're trying to like constantly help them and share your love, they might not hear it or receive it the way you want, and it's going to make you feel worse about yourself.
Yeah, you don't have to take that stuff personally. I've been told that I'm not helpful, and that's okay.
You know what?
Me too. Then what I do is I just kind of
relax.
Well, I just take my energy back. Like, I don't give it to people that are not ready to hear it, because it's a waste of time. Like, I can tell by people's expressions if they're ready to receive what I'm dishing out.
And then you don't need to make the mistake of saying and then regretting it. You just know who to say it to and not, right?
Exactly. So, well, this was awesome.
This was awesome.
I'm really excited for all that is to come at the Live Life Goldyn headquarters. I've got my creative director here. We've got a lot of really awesome ideas. Mm-hmm. And I've got some exciting announcements that are coming up. I'm going to be doing some retreats in California, and I'm going to be doing some live events, which I'm really excited about. So if you are local to Southern California, or you're going to be in town, let me know, because I'm going to be putting some stuff together. I'm actually going to do my teachings, my Ignite the Fire Within teachings. I'm going to be doing live. We're going to be doing some adventuring around
If you guys
Laguna.
like the photos recently,
yes.
That's where we're going. So.
Yep. So we're going to do some stuff in nature. We're going to do some meditating and emotional release stuff in nature. So it's going to be like teachings and adventure. And I'm going to take you to some of my favorite places, some secret places that we love.
Places that we're from.
Yeah. So we're going to get some sun, some Dr. Sun, and some Dr. Love, some Dr. Wisdom, all of it.
Spirit,
yeah.
All of it.
So if you are local to California, that is going to be something that is coming up within the next couple of weeks. We're going to launch that. And for
And if
now,
you're not local,
yeah, you
get your ass on a
get
plane.
local.
Get your ass on a plane. All right.
For sure. So live, laugh, love, dance.
Be golden.
Be golden.
Yes.
Love you guys.
Love you.
Peace. Thank
Peace
you,
and light.
Thank you, baby girl. That was good stuff.
It was really good.